Good morning, everybody. Friday, the 1st of August. So 9 o'clock, 1 minute past 9. I am going to just have a look to see if the stream is working. Should be all good. Let me know if there's any problems. I just want to quickly, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but if you can, just want to go back to yesterday. I don't think you're going to be able to hear it because I've got my headphones on. But anyway, I will show you the time where we spoke about it. So yesterday at about 10:50, we were talking about the weekly ATRs and the levels that I have on my screen now. You'll be able to see that's what I'm referring to. So pretty much we were talking about, again, I've got my headphones on so you won't be able to hear the audio. But we were discussing about how much range we had left on the week. So you can see my chart now. We pretty much have come down to that ATR. So you can see that is that 320. It's actually the exact level, which is pretty. I mean, I haven't moved this, right? If I don't know if I can get that back up, but that level was pretty much the exact level. So I haven't even moved these, right? So you can see on the week, if I put this on, so you can see the low, the ATR low is literally, this is the box. That ATR low is the pretty much the exact low so far. So the low was 31.50s and my box level was literally within 1 point. 1 point. So I think everyone should at least give that a like on the video today to see how insanely accurate that was. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting us to fill the downside, but at the same time on the video I said don't be surprised if we do, right? So always, never, again, as I always say, if you align your expectations with the ATR, you can't be disappointed. Like, you just can't, because that is the average true range. So it's the average true range. So yeah, again, so really cool to see. Do we go lower? Maybe, but at the same time, again, that is your expected range. And so far we have had a 51.25 reaction off that level. Now, yesterday we managed to get a short after taking a couple stop out longs. So you can see on my screen yesterday, if I go to the trades that we took, so we managed to get $1,000. In fact, this whole week we've been able to get pretty much every single day apart from Wednesday, was it, when I didn't trade? Tuesday, I can't even remember now. What day are we on? 29th. So Wednesday I didn't trade because it was FOMC. Sorry. No trades on Tuesday. Monday was a win. Wednesday I took off. Thursday, yeah. So pretty much 2 days this week. I thought I traded Tuesday, but I obviously didn't. So start of the week was obviously Monday. So Monday's trade, 1,129 per account. Tuesday didn't trade. Wednesday was FOMC, so I was at spa day, so I didn't trade that day either. And then yesterday was 1,000. So actually I've only traded twice this week, which is yeah, surprising. For some reason I thought I traded more than that. But yeah, must be just because I've had a day off in between halfway through the week. But yeah, anyway, that was yesterday's trade. So we did initially take a long, as you can see here, stopped out. And this is, again, knowing when to trade is very important. This is not a reversal, or this is not a, what do you call this, where you do the opposite, where you, can't remember what it's called now, you know, on some platforms where you can reverse. This was not a reverse the position. This was, oh, longs are clearly not working. So when you're expecting, if at any point you're expecting, if at any point you're expecting a move to happen and it doesn't happen, expect that same move but in the opposite direction and to full completion. So if you're trying to go long, like in this area here, wanting a move up, and that does not happen, expect the exact same thing to the downside, right? And that's exactly what we got. So I will break down that trade just so you can see what actually took place. And if we go to the 5-minute time frame, so you can actually see the trade from yesterday, it was really compelling because we actually did have the market show its hands on the overnight session. So I mentioned in the room that we had all-time highs get taken out at that 810s. So that 810s was pretty much this whole, let me see if I can mark this out. 1 second. Let me just try and figure this out a second. It should be, just trying to figure out why is that. So it should be, just trying to figure out why this has switched working. Let me try it over. Here we go. That's it. So you can see this whole area here was at 810s, which is pretty much what was the all-time high breakout, right? Once that happened, we traded a traditional on the overnight session, which was from obviously high to low. That's what a traditional is. That traditional traded, and it was actually here when it traded. So you go onto the 2-minute time frame, and you can see this is so important because this is literally what set up the whole short for the rest of the day. So you can see the traditional traded, and it completed targets, right? Completed targets all the way down to the negative 100, right? You can see that negative 100. See if I can do my... Oh, it's not working. I need to get good at this drawing tool. There we go. There we go. So you can see that was the negative 100 down here. So that is the drawing. Should be like that, but I don't know why that's not working. I will figure it out. Yeah, so that was your negative 100. And after that traded, you can see all we did is pretty much trade the same anchor new low. That same anchor new low traded, and again, where did we come into, right? We came into the resistance, right? The 50, the halfway back, same anchor new low, right? That halfway back traded, and what did we do? Again, super, and this is the short I took, right? Again, what did we do? Came into the same anchor new low short, right? Beautiful. Where's your risk? Beautiful. 0 drawdown short, right? I didn't get the exact high because I wouldn't have taken this necessarily, just because we would have been shorting above trend, right? Technically speaking, trend is like this trend line here in green. This line here, this green line is pretty much your trend. I think if I press, that should do, yeah, that should do a straight line. There we go. Yeah, this line here is the trend, right? So I didn't necessarily short into all of this area here, but what I did do is I waited for this to break, and we traded a traditional inside here. So you can see high to low. What do we have? We have a traditional. The traditional trades, and you can see that quite clearly, the traditional trades. Okay, I don't know if I can do an arrow. See if I can do an arrow. Don't know how to do an arrow, but anyway, the traditional trades, okay, really clean. And where does it go? Full negative 100. Again, full negative 100. So that happens, and you then go into subsequent sequences, right? So you've got your same anchor new low from the overnight session. You have a traditional, and again, you've got so many sequences in here that you can follow. Same anchor new low again, trades into the end of the day. And where does that come? Where do we trade into? Again, the same anchor new low short, and I kind of like this. Just need to get my bearings. There we go. Came into the same anchor new low resistance, and you can see once that happened, it went all the way down into the negative 100. And I don't think this was the same anchor new low. I think we ended up trading. Oh my baby Jesus. How is this even possible? How is this even possible? Traded the same anchor new low again into the close. I don't really know what we've done on the overnight. Oh, of course, we've completed targets. Full negative 100 is down here at 22, where is it? 22,900 down here. 22,900 is the full negative 100. Of course, we have already completed, as you can see, the 23 and the 62 down here, right? They have already completed. So there are a couple of extensions you can obviously pay attention to. The same anchor new low. We are below trend. We are below trend, and we are below the overnight midpoint. What I would like to do, because we have blown this negative 100 out, is I would potentially look for the same anchor new low of that short, which pretty much puts you at, as you can see, that pretty much puts you at, oh, that got rid of it, didn't it? Yeah, there we go. Sorry. There we go. So that extension is the 946 anchor, and that pretty much would put you at the 38, which is here. Call it 272s, right? 272s is the same anchor new low, and that would be the potential short if you were going to take one, just purely on the basis that you would be. I would wait for the break of trend again. So just like we did yesterday, wait for the break of trend, and then if you are going to get a short, for example, wait for something like this, and then you take the, you know, retracement down. Because above this area, you have to be cautious that this could be support, right? And if this is going to be support, this could literally be the rally to go higher. So this will be your area of interest, which is going to be this, basically call it pretty much 233. So 233 is going to be the support until proven otherwise. It'll be that pivot on the day, just like 666s was yesterday. If you go back to yesterday, I put in the chat 663s, which was 663s. If we go, just trying to make sure I've got my tool, 663s, which was here. I've still got the area that I marked. Yeah. So this was the pivot yesterday. And again, look how clean that was. You wait for the pivot to react. And what did we get? A halfway back. You have to remember, if these moves are going to be technical, there will be setups, in my opinion, right? So just like here, right? This was the pivot. They gave you a halfway back, and they even ATR down. They ATR down, and then we just went into micro extensions, low to low, same anchor new low, same anchor new low, same anchor new low, same anchor new low, right? So clean, so clean. So I only took one short yesterday, but geez, if I stayed on, there would have probably been lots more opportunity for me. But again, because I took a couple sloppy trades in the open, I just wanted to get green and basically get off the screens. But going into today, keep it really, really simple. Again, your pivot is going to be that pretty much. Let's call it. If we even get up here, right? If we even get up here, but that will be the level that I pay attention to, 235s. And ATR for the day is obviously your expected range is 254s to the high side. And you are going to be opening up below the average true range for the day. So what do we know about that? Typically, you can get bearish continuation. So we will just have to keep an eye on that. But at the same time, you just need to be aware of this is your actual range for the day. This is your expected range for the day. So we don't really want to be spending too much time necessarily trading around here, because you could get a mean reversion back up into this area into the end of the day. So this is kind of your expected range for the day. Again, when you're trading such large ATRs, these will expand. And as you can see on the daily, just to reiterate, we have finally, nice caveat, we have finally ATR'd, let me show you on this chart here actually. We have finally ATR'd. The last time we ATR'd, and I said this to everyone in the room a couple of weeks ago, and obviously on these YouTube live streams, this was the first time we ATR'd pretty much on the Trump tweet. We had the halfway back. We had the completion of the full negative, the 23, the 62, the negative 100. We came into the high to high. We reacted into those targets. We came down. Well, yet we're yet to come down. This is going to be the first time we have come down to the next high to high sequence. So this is literally picture perfect in terms of Fibonacci sequences. Halfway back, high to high. This is the second high to high. So if this does fail, and again, we don't need to know if it's going to fail. All we need to do is wait for the BX, which we'll talk about in a second. Wait for the BX to turn green. Remember, the BX is still red. So if the BX is red, what do we do? Everyone in the, I want an answer from everyone. What do we do when the BX is red? I don't even have Discord up. I do apologize. What do we do when the BX is red? Or what don't we do when the BX is red? What do we not do when the BX is red? Take longs, 100%. We do not take longs when the BX is red, right? Look what happens when the BX is red. Beautiful, 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 beautiful moves. When the BX is red, sorry, when the BX is green, when the BX is red, we consolidate most likely, right? Or sell off. When the BX is green, we like to push up. Okay? And when the BX turns red, you can see this is probably an area to consolidate, right? And if, like, for example, what happened here, when this came into a high to high, you see here when we traded a traditional. We traded a traditional even when the BX was red here, right? But again, that's fine. You can miss moves, right? You don't have to take every single move. But what is a lot cleaner is waiting for the same anchor new high of that extension. This is the traditional, and it went into a same anchor new high here. And finally, it started to turn green. At that point, we were able to catch longs because you go into a next extension. And again, they've completed the full negative 100s, right? This whole move here, they've all completed. Bang, bang, right? Both of them are completed. 23,700 is that completion, right? So you don't need to be worried or have FOMO about losing out or missing out on a trade, right? It's just not needed. So we wait for that BX to turn green. If it isn't green, we just maybe just continue to either sit on hands or trade the short side, right? Trade the short side. If you can't switch biases on the click of a dime, unfortunately, it's going to be a very tricky career in terms of trying to trade for a living, in my opinion. So I will trade the shorts if the shorts appear. And again, those levels I've mentioned, that's what they will be. You go down to the lower time frame, and you can see must have a delay. Those extensions, I'll just mark them out again just so we've got them on our screen. But these will be what I'll be looking at going into today. That full negative 100's completed. There's a couple really. This also completed. Here. 62 completion. That negative 100 is below us at 980s, but if we go full same anchor new low, I will be looking for 23,240s as a potential area here for a short. So 23,200s. And if we do get a full same anchor new low, where does that line up with? Yeah, I wouldn't really be participating with that. So yeah, this is all I'm really going to be looking at. There was another draw that I had, which was from here, which is also, so I'm going to mark 2 zones. This would be really, really nice if we got this. Because if we got this, either one's fine, but if we got something like this, this could be a really nice trap. Because remember, this is the trend line for the day. This is also your ATR high for the day as well. So if we got something like, you know, I wouldn't even really want to see us get back above that, really. I'd rather just see us fail. Yeah, we are literally at ATR lows. Yeah, I think that's all I've really got. I think it's just going to be a case of literally following those aggressive extensions, which you don't have to trade if you don't really want to be trading the short side, but I think you are in them. So I think you just are going to continue to sell off from here, which is where we are. This is that next low to low, all of this here, right? All of this here. If that fails, then I would just be looking for that next full same anchor new low, which is this level here, 250s. So I think you reject here on the open at 130s with completions all the way down to 892s. And just remember, what I would mark out is your full negative 100 on your ATR. So I would not really be pushing anything below 992s, right? So you don't really have much range here today. Let me just double check. Why is that showing the ranges 140? Showing the ranges 220, 223, but I guess it's because we've already expanded so much. So yeah, this is your ATR low on the day. So what I would do is mark. Yeah, so if you use the static version, you could come down to as low as 780s, which I'm just going to mark down here at 780, 830, 830s. But I would be conservative and I would be marking 995s as kind of like, I would only really have runners below 995s, which I appreciate doesn't give you a lot of range, but I would only have runners past here. I wouldn't really be having full size shorts down here, which again, you don't have loads of range from where we currently are. I get it, but that's why I would probably wait for, if we get it, I would probably wait for a push higher to maybe short into if we are going to reject this trend line at 335s. Anything above that trend line, you obviously could come right back up, but you're still going to be below the RTH high. So you'd have to obviously have a monster move all the way back up into yesterday's high to even get bullish again, which at that point, you know, you're just so offside. It's pointless even trying to trade if you're trying to trade the longs after a short. So either sit on hands or follow the trend, and obviously the trend is down, which we can see from the indexes. Okay, the trend is down from the week, so it's not crazy to follow the trend, but at the same time, trends can change, so just be aware of that. Again, sit on hands if you're not comfortable trading the short side. If you are trading the short side, play the extensions until they break and accept the risk. Thank you for watching, everyone. I will be on Discord, and I will catch you all over there. If you're on YouTube watching this, click the link in the description below to join the 7-day free trial, and I will see you over in there. Have a good weekend, everyone. See you on Discord in a second.